Hey guys, what's up? Zyflin here, and welcome to another episode of Warframe Playing Like a Pro. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Atlas Warframe. Quick apology before this video even begins to go on, I guess, is there might be music in the background. It's very late at night right now. I almost said light, right? Too many IG HTs. Let's just get on with the video, but if you guys hear any music in the background, I apologize. I'm making this video at 11 o'clock at night. I really shouldn't be, but we're going to be doing it anyway. So this is Atlas. I have the best looking Atlas in Warframe. Pretty cool frame. I don't like him too much though. For the simple fact, I don't think he brings a lot of team usability to the table. I don't think he is really that useful to begin with. I mean, there's a lot more useful frames out there like Trinity or Loki or whatever, but he is fun for the simple fact that he can punch things and make them fly very far away. So with Atlas, you want to be building basically like this. It's a two-forma build, and he's basically centered around, he has a lot of health, he's got a lot of armor, so you want to basically mod for that. So I have Vitality and Steel Fiber on here for my defense, Rage to take advantage of that, Prime Flow to keep my energy high, of course, then Fleet and Expertise and Streamline to spam my abilities, Stretch for some range in my abilities, because we definitely are going to need that there, Transient Fortitude for some strength and minus duration, because I don't feel as if duration is necessary on the build, and then Power Drift for a little bit more strength, and then Energy Siphon for that energy sustain. Obviously you can change this out for something like Cruise Projection to deal more damage, because that is basically what the stream does. Or you can, put Energy Siphon on for your energy sustain and, Xeneric and stuff. So, let's go ahead and spawn in a few enemies and I'll show you guys what Atlas actually does. He's more of a brawler frame because he does stuff with his fists and he does stuff with his... Actually, it's probably better off to just show you what he does, because I'm not going to be using these other free abilities versus enemies, because they're just not really worth using. At least in my opinion, I don't feel as if he's one of the best frames in the game. He's definitely one of those niche frames. You can pick him up, you can play him. He's fun to use because you can go through and one-hit things, but it doesn't scale all that well. But... yeah, so his first ability is basically a punch. You need to actually have an enemy in for that, and that's basically what this build is centered around, but I'll show that to you guys near the end of the video. So his second ability is this here thing. So you put a wall up, and then you press 2 again, and then you'll be able to hit that wall down, and it's going to roll. And then anything caught in that is going to obviously take damage and be knocked back a little bit. So it's not the best ability for the reason that it doesn't deal a lot of damage. It's cool. It's definitely cool, like you get to throw a boulder at people, but that's about it. His third ability is his Petrify. So basically what happens here, I like this ability. I think this is one of the better abilities. Probably his second best ability. You aim at an enemy, you press this, and then they're going to turn to stone for a period of or a set period of time. Pretty good. There's an augment for it, which will make enemies affected by this drop extra loot, so it's pretty good in that regard. And then this final ability is Rockmen. So you get these two Rockmen to come up, and if you have this build, this is the size and this is the speed that they're going to be, and they also deal an okay amount of damage. They're okay for just hitting enemies, but because this build has very little duration, they're only going to stay around for like 10 seconds, so nothing to really get all that fussed up about. They're okay, they're not great, but you can hit them, bring them up, and then they'll do something for a set period of time. But without further ado, let's actually take a look at the useful part of this frame, at least in my opinion. I'm not trying to bash in this frame or anything, I just think that, there's funner frames. Well, they're not funner frames. I'd just say there's better frames out there in terms of usability and stuff. This frame's fun to use. I love basically doing this here, so just check this out, right? I love just hitting the enemies and making them fly away. I think that is awesome. You don't deal them like a lot of damage, but the damage of that ability is going to scale with your combo counter, so that's why I'm using the Hyrudo. So basically what you're going to want to do is build up your combo counter and then hit that ability. So you want to bring in a melee weapon that uses a Blood Rush body count combo, and then just build up that melee counter. Use your one to deal a shit ton of damage, because that's going to times it by 2 and times it by 4, and that's an insane amount of damage if you're able to pull that off. So that's the one useful thing about him, is he can kill enemies. I don't know. I like the frame for that regard, for the fun regard, but in terms of late game scaling and late game usability, those enemies are going to be dealing a hefty amount of damage to you. So let's say we spawn in a heavy gunner, just watch how long it takes for that heavy gunner to take Atlas down. Obviously, he's able to stand there, tank a few shots, but if you're not quick on the draw with hitting that one and getting that enemy away from you or killing him, then you're going to die pretty quickly. And these other abilities right here, I don't really feel as if they're enough to sort of keep those enemies at bay, that type of thing. I guess I'll show you guys the effects of, you know, the 2 and the 3 on a bunch of butchers as well, and just show you guys how that pans out. So let's just go ahead and spawn in 10 of these guys. So, you know, he's not necessarily the best frame. That's all I'm going to say. So here's the 2. Runs them over, and they follow it. They don't take a lot of damage, they take a little tiny amount. Here's the 3. This is your crowd control. They get frozen, turned to stone, kind of like a Medusa type effect right there, and they're going to stay like that for a set period of time after you stop freezing them. And then this is your 4. These guys are just gonna go and, you know, punch these guys and do their thing. They just basically deal damage. So the butchers also hit them. They have a set amount of health as well. They should be pretty tanky. But that's about that there. And then obviously you can build up your combo counter and then use your 1 to, you know, murder things like that. So yeah, that's definitely the selling point on this weapon. He's a one-punch man, you know, that type of guy. So you want to do that there, and yeah, that is pretty much it with Atlas. You know, there's nothing else really to say about him other than he's a brawler. You pair him with a melee weapon that has a blood rush body count combo, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think elements are like put on his fists by any means. It's just the raw damage that you do and the initial damage. So your strength will build up the initial damage of your punch, and then what you want to do is you want to build up a blood rush body count combo, and then it's going to take from that blood rush body count combo, and then it's going to times that damage, and then that's your output. So it's pretty cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of the funner frames to play if you're just gonna go through and exterminate and go from enemy to enemy to enemy and just punch them. You know, that's cool, but in terms of going in the late game, in terms of you know, being that guy who carries a team because Atlas, or, you know, carrying a defense or something, definitely not going to be the frame to save a defense pod or anything like that, you know. He's going to be the frame that will kill a high-value target, and yeah, that one guy over there, he's dead, that type of thing. He's not going to be a mass murderer. He's not going to be the guy that saves the cryopod and a T4 defense. He's not going to be the guy that clutches the life support because he is rather slow, but he is going to be the guy that will be able to revive you in a very sticky situation and basically provide support after that revive. Which, I mean, if you're playing this game right, if you're playing with a Trinity in your squad or something like that there, then you know, you shouldn't really be going down in the first place. If you're crowd controlling right with Loki or Vauban or Nova or something, you shouldn't be going down in the first place. But that is about it in terms of everything Atlas has to offer. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button below, and you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next Warframe video.